let's start this video over. Alright, we are reacting to I made a massive Leatherbound books and gave them to the author by Nerdforge. And this is for the Stormlight Archive. Yeah! Alright, let's do this!
Shut up, Rita. Alright, folks, here's the deal. We have been invited to meet one of the largest, if not the largest, currently living fantasy authors, Mr. Brandon Sanderson.
Brandon Sanderson!
One of my favorite authors of all time. So
Yes!
I really want to impress him with something cool. Now, my first
Yeah!
idea was simple enough, because he has this book series called
Stormlight Archive,
consisting of 4 massive books, soon to be 5, because the final one is coming in a couple of weeks. And I thought
it's
if
already
we could
out.
get an early copy, then maybe I could do it like I did with Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings, an epic rebinding, or maybe do something crazy like make massive editions of these books. 5 monumental tomes, each one so heavy they'll be difficult to carry on their own, like something so large and majestic he has surely not seen anything like it before. The only problem with that is we only have regular sized books. They're big books on their own, but like
yeah, they're really
in
big.
comparison to what we have in mind.
I've only just started listening to Wind and Truth,
like,
and I'm
download the files for the
I've
book
already
and
cried.
print them in a bigger format myself. That's highly illegal. And not to mention the final
It's the
book
last
isn't even published yet,
part
so
of this
no
arc
one
of this
except
story,
Brandon
so
Sanderson's team has even seen it.
yeah.
So unfortunately,
Hi,
we have to scale down and do something smaller instead. It's what a quitter would say.
So cute and silly, thank you. How you doing, Loveland?
Few weeks of communicating on email with Dragonsteel, Sanderson's team, who managed to convince Tor, the publisher, to grant us legal rights, like actual legal rights, to reprint exactly 1 copy of each of the books. That is all we have permission for. And what do you know?
I mean, that makes
morning
sense.
We got all the files for all the books, including book 5.
Nice! Oh my
Do
goodness!
you know how scary this is? Like, he has worked on this.
He's amazing.
Cool. So
Oh,
you did
hang on.
did leather.
No, no, no! What happened? No, I didn't mean to do that. Hang on. Hang on. I fucked up. Hang on.
No. Few weeks of communicating on email with Dragonsteel, Sanderson's team,
There we go.
who managed to convince Tor, the
There
publisher,
we go.
to grant us legal rights, like actual legal rights, to reprint exactly 1 copy of each of the books. That is all we have permission for. And what do you know?
I mean, that's so cool though, like, the fact that she went through and made sure that it was,
book 5.
like, correct and, like, in order there. I think that's
Do you know
great.
how scary this is? Like, he has worked on this for years, and now they just, like, trust us to handle it.
I mean,
so obviously,
you have
I'm freaking
3.4 million
stoked. Like, in 3
subscribers.
weeks,
They know you're not gonna do shit.
And we're gonna be making
Because you're gonna be
the
in
biggest,
trouble if you do.
most extra chunky fantasy book
I also
series
think
of
Brandon
all time.
understands
But of course, we need to
the
figure out how to make it first.
need for social media for
Since we didn't
advertising, and
actually
stuff
have the
like
paper
this is
yet,
gonna
I started
advertise
to
the
work
book.
on the cover design instead. Ooh, look at that mood board. Ooh, look at that design.
Ooh.
And while I did that, Hansi got to work on figuring out how on earth we could get A2 size paper printed. First we thought we could just buy a printer, but
No,
yeah, maybe not.
no.
So instead, Hansi started calling around to local print shops without any luck. Until...
I was getting ready to tell Martina that we'd likely have to downscale this project. An email appeared in my inbox. LOS Digital. They had the $1 million machine and they were willing to work with us.
Nice!
Such a relief. So I've just
Yeah, it
now
is
sent them the
expensive.
files, but first I had to make them sign an NDA because we don't want to leak these files. Hopefully it's all good though, because we only have one
Yeah.
shot at this. And the plane tickets for Salt Lake City, they are already ordered. So we're going there. With or without these
Oh,
books.
they
Yeah,
went
all
to
we have to do now is to
they
wait.
went to Dragonsteel
And
convention
now while we wait
too.
for the
That's
paper,
cool.
Let's talk
I like
about
that.
the overall design. What I'm thinking is to have a separate color for each of the books. All the dark blue lines, by the way, is going to be stamped into the leather. And then finally, we have this gradient thingy on the front here, which is going to be, hopefully, a custom painting for each of the books. For the first time, I'm going to try to somehow incorporate the painting with leatherwork. It's going to be interesting. Is it going to work? We'll find out.
I'm sure it will. Your work is amazing.
I think the papers, they just arrived. Let's open it.
Yeah,
and see if
she's
the
a
papers
leather
are
worker,
good.
painter, like everything. She does like everything. She's also missing a pinky.
This is my hand. This is the book page. It looks and it feels awesome.
Oh, Jesus. Woo.
You know, Martina, it's gonna be double as tall once we fold it.
Oh. Shit. Yeah, I didn't. Oh.
I think it's a
oh,
pinky.
God.
It's either a pinky or
Yeah,
it's her pointer
almost
finger. I
half
can't
a meter.
remember.
More than half a meter.
It's on
of
her left
books
hand.
to bring on the plane.
Brandy Sandman! Why you write so long?
Brandy Sandman!
And of course, in preparation for all the massive
Yep, there we go,
amounts
pinky.
of paper folding we have to
You
do,
gotta see
we
it
have
there.
made this little jig. It's nothing
There you go.
complicated. It's just to
Yeah, she
help
lost
us
that in a
align some
worksheet
paper,
or
like
workshop
along the
accident,
edge
I
here,
believe.
and get a nice, perfectly even fold. And that's the most important thing here, because
Mm-hmm.
we only have one copy of every single book. Like no replacements, nothing. If we mess up a page, then it's messed up. Then we have to fix it somehow.
She's
So
done
we
videos
really
making
gotta get
cool
the fold
prosthetics for her
perfect
pinky.
on
It's
the
really
first
cool.
try. Add some spice to this whole project, you know. The first page, people. Who would have thought folding a piece of paper could be this intense? Is it perfect? It's perfect. Okay, now it's just, what, 1,000 more times? We made
Yeah,
it fold.
Nerd Forge. She has a lot of cool, different types of projects. It's not just leatherworking. She's done like building her office, building her set. Yeah, she just does a lot of different stuff. It's really cool. I definitely like Nerd Forge. You guys ever see me reacting to videos and I talk about how much I like them and you see that
Alright,
I'm not
next
subscribed?
up,
It's because I'm on my
punching
Clips
holes.
channel
Normally,
watching these.
I would just use one of these, a hole punch every single hole individually, and then stitch the book together. But that's gonna take a very long time. So instead, I'm gonna try to make a jig. This thing we actually used to cut the crown molding for the Dark Academia gaming room that we just did,
Yeah.
and we don't need it for that anymore. So now, you, my friend, will become a hole punch. First of all, we're gonna add just a little stopper here. There, get in. Perfect. When I put the paper in, I can just go whoop, perfect alignment.
Sheep.
There we go. Paper goes in, doesn't flop to the side. And now comes the tricky part, actually making something that can go, you know, punch the holes. It's a terrifying little contraption, isn't it? I mean, look at this thing. Nice and pointy. Gotta get the needles into their holes. There we go. You can see them pointing out like little teeth. And now when I push it, teeth comes out. Because of this cool little spring mechanism. Moment of truth. Will our hole punching jig work? We grab our signature, fold it out, push it to the end, grab the handle of the murder weapon, put it down, align, and punch. Okay, and now we should have 8 holes in the paper that is perfectly centered. Yes! I can't believe it worked! What the hell?
That's great.
Think about the years where we have spent time punching these damn holes.
Oh, that's amazing.
See, it looks like teeth. Ah!
Like a torture device.
Yeah, it kind of is. Punching time! Bruh, all the holes done for a 1,000-page book in half an hour? Excuse me? Without this jig, this would have taken at least like 4 hours or something. The next part is, of course, to stitch all of these signatures together. We're gonna do it the old-fashioned way with waxed linen thread and a little needle. Sewing time. One book down, only 4 more to go. Alright, we got the book stitched up, so now we can give it that little curve on the spine, clamp it tightly together, and add our first layer of bookbinding glue. The first of many. Look at how this thing is clamped up. We got a buttload of like half moon dowels just pressing this, trying to keep it as straight as possible and keep the pages from just warping like a little wave. Yeah, and the glue is just gonna like help keep the book together. Okay, glue time. Glue is looking nice, so once this is dry we can go back to the front of the book and try to cut that curved edge off and make it nice and straight.
So back when we made the really large book, there was one thing we weren't really happy about, and that was how the edges turned out. And that was because we didn't build a jig. And I have built a jig. I went to the hardware store looking for a solution. And then it all came to me. Little John spoke into my ear and showed me galvanized square steel. So I guess all we have to do now is to cut 5 massive books. It's quite a lot of work in it.
Dude, I cannot believe how straight that edge is. We made it! It's the first time we managed it. Holy crap! I feel like this is the first time we can do this. Perfectly curved spine. Perfectly straight front. That's one book cut. Only 4 more to go. Godspeed, Hansi.
Yeah. It's like jigs are the way that they've learned. Gotta do jigs.
Oh my lord. The size of this thing is just stupid. We're almost done with the text block, the stuff that is going inside the covers. There's just a couple more steps. First, headbands. Headbands, by the way, is just this little top part here. It's just a piece of cloth, usually on modern books. But we're gonna do it the old-fashioned way and actually stitch the headbands. And well, sewing headbands isn't really that complicated. All you need is 2 colors embroidery thread, 2 needles, and something to use as a core. If you want more info on how to actually bind books, we have a bunch of bookbinding videos already. I'll leave a link below or like up there. And we also happen to have a bookbinding course available for our patrons down there too. You know where to find it. It's also headbands. Oh man, look at all these books with all these headbands. Not to mention
Those
the
look
ribbon
so
book part.
cool.
They're looking so fancy. We're almost done with the text blocks. All we have to do now is add some colored end sheets and finally add a little bit of linen to the spine just to give it a bit more strength because these are quite thick boys.
Thick boys.
End sheets are gluing. These are just waiting for their turn. I'm just gonna go back and forth to glue these, but in the meantime, I think we can start working on the covers. And this is the fun part and also the difficult part. All right, so our goal is, of course, to make some beautiful leather-bound covers with lots of little details and stamps and stuff, layering with embossing to get that depth, some gold details, and ideally 2 different colors. But of course, there is quite a few steps we have to do to get to this result. So I spent a bit of time transforming this into embossing layers that we can actually cut out on our laser. So we cut all of these layers into some thick cardstock that is pretty common to use in bookbinding. And while I've been working on this, Hansi has taken all of these layers, cleaned them up a bit, added the glue, added the layers, clamped them all together. And also I've done the same with the spines. I just make sure to wet them a bit first, like soak it with some water because then it becomes bendable instead of just like breaking when you try to bend them. Add some glue, add some little clamps on there, let them dry, and we have all our cardstock pieces ready for covering. And baby, you're gonna look so good all covered in leather. Woo! there's just one little thing we have to do before we can actually attach the leather to the covers, and that is to stamp the spine, because it's gonna be really hard to stamp it when it's curved and stuff, and like it's just easier to stamp it on a flat surface. And so, oh boy, I have spent literal days making these laser cutting files. It's been breaking my brain. So we're gonna take this one, try to make an acrylic stamp with our laser, and hopefully that's gonna work. Alrighty, William, it's time to make some stamps. Are you ready, friend? He's flipping ready. Good luck. Laser seemed to have done his job. Thank you, William, the second. You're working overtime right now. I think my best bet is just to try to like plop out all the little shapes here, then use the leftover piece as like a alignment tool and try to use some tape to just transfer it over to this back piece. And cure the resin. That should make everything stick in place. Now before fully curing, let's just remove the outer frame, hopefully without moving anything again. It should be tucked in place now, but you never know. Oh. Okay, still looks good. Okay, now we can cure. We interrupt this program with a short message from Displays. See, back when Hansi and I were students, we had the most boring walls in our apartment. Like, you were literally... By going to display.com/nerdforge.
I actually have some Elden Ring display
Thank you.
pieces.
And back to the prep. We got our
But
first
I won them
stamp,
from a
but I think
contest, so-
before I do anything rash, like actually stamping the leather we're gonna use, I'm just gonna do a little test, just to see that it works the way I think it will. Let's make the leather moist. Let that soak for a bit. It's time for the clampy stampy. Align it there, and now we clampy stamp. Okay, it's been a while, so moment of truth. Does our stamping method work? It's not perfect. It's very nice in the center. The Dragon Steel logo isn't even there. I think I'm gonna try to put it back on and clamp it again. I put a second layer of leather underneath to give it more like cushioning, because then maybe we can push it further down. Hopefully it's worked. It worked! That worked so much better than I thought it would. Okay, it's still not perfect, but a lot better. I'm so glad I did the test piece. Oh my god. Well, I guess there's nothing else to do than try to actually do this on the leather. And we only have 5 hides for the 5 books, so no room for failure. Once again, time for Clampy Stampy. Stamping is complete at last. I mean, it's been 7 full days of just clampy stampy. I mean, I did not expect this to take this long when we started, and I did not expect my hands to almost be falling off from all the screwing the clamps, and my back is a little
They usually say how long it took them.
All day, and it's a surprisingly time-consuming process. Like, we've made 24 individual stamps that all have to be like aligned and measured so everything looks straight and correct. And my lord, it takes so long. But I do have to say though that this acrylic stamp method is working so well. I mean, look how crisp these lines are. It's the first time we managed to make such a great impression on leather, and my lord, I'm so happy with it. The 12-hour workdays were worth it after all. And I'm glad to say we can finally move on from this farewell little acrylic stamps. You did a great job, but I'm tired of seeing you, so moving on.
Farewell.
Clamping, done. But you can see all of them have nice little skirts on the sides, lots of leftover leather. So to sort of wrap this up, I'm just gonna cut off the excess leather, add some contact glue to the inside, thin it down a little bit, and then just pop it in, fold in the edges, and glue it in place. And then we have our covers. Okay, let's do it.
Okay, so while Martina is putting on the leather on the remaining books, we are gonna do something fun and also quite scary. Because I've been testing staining the leather with different sorts of stains, and I think we have found the right method to stain these. So we're gonna start with the first book and try to apply the color. This is gonna be fun, but also quite scary because it's a lot at stake. And once you put on the color, you can't really take it away. So there's that. So here's the first book and it's looking fantastic. So what we'll begin with is to add some of this medium brown antique leather stain to all the letters and all the borders and everything. Okay, so that's the outlines very, very roughly painted in. Now I'm gonna use a mixture of diluted browns to dab on the edges where we want it to be brown. And then we're gonna do the same thing with the blues in the center. And hopefully that's gonna blend the lines a bit more.
That's Warbreaker colors.
Bruh, our workshop is in complete, utter disarray. We've been working day and night trying to get this project done because our plane leaves in 2 days and we haven't fully stained this cover. We haven't fully stained another cover. Hansi is over here working on the third cover and 2 of the covers are like almost done. But of course, we are going to add some gold leaf to these covers, which is what I'm gonna start on next. I've set up a little workstation here because all the other surfaces are occupied. This project was, surprise, surprise, more work than we anticipated in the beginning. This is just off the charts, man. I
so
hope
cool,
we
though.
can finish in time, and I hope we can finish to a level that is just next, you know? Next level. Okay, gold leaf.
Yay! Wind and truth. I love the glyphs being in gold like that too. This looks so pretty.
Okay, it's been 24 hours, so the books should now be completely dry, and we are leaving tomorrow morning, which is actually just like 14 hours away or something. But now let's finally see what these books look like. I think we spent a total of 5 weeks making these books, and it all comes down to this. Please don't fall apart when I pick you up. Gluing is looking good at least. So many pages. Looking good here too. Nice, nice. And now for the opening test, the bend test. Can you open all the way? Yeah, you can! This actually looks so good. Oh, and it's holding together. What a freaking relief. A little concerned though about putting these in a check-in, like 5 of these giant tomes checked in, trying to get them all to the US. Like my biggest fear is just one of them going missing and the luggage not arriving in time or something, like that would be great. There's one thing we have to do.
Why would
still,
you set a
and that
flag
is
like
to
that?
attach the
Why?
paintings
Why
to
would
the
you
front
set a
cover.
flag like that?
I haven't
No,
forgotten
this
about
is
it.
not.
It's just been so much other stuff that I haven't really had time to do the painting before now. So for the past 24 hours, I've been trying to make some custom artwork for each of the books and really trying to make like a cool sort of stylized thing around it. I've completed 4 of them. I still have one more to complete. You know, I can sleep on the plane, you know. I don't need sleep. Sleep's for losers. I'm gonna complete these books no matter the cost. So let's attach the paintings.
They look so pretty. Oh, the tower!
Okay, we made it. We have completed all the books. We're currently finally packing them down at 1 a.m. and our taxi comes at like 7 or something. So that's great. That was we barely made it. So yeah, we just gotta pack the books, then go home and pack stuff, and then we're off. But man, I cannot wait to see the look on Brandon Sanderson's face. Hopefully he'll like it. If not, then this experience would have been interesting. How could he not? Look at these things. They're ridiculous.
I mean,
See
yeah,
ya
like
on
how
the
could
other
he
side of
not
the
love
world.
these?
Hopefully, all
And Brandon Sanderson has to love these. Like, this is such
So after getting a whole
a
3
big
hours
fan
of sleep,
project,
we managed to
like-
lug our suitcases onto the train, through the airport, check them in, and just prayed for them to arrive safely through the 2 layovers we had. And what do you know? 18 hours later, we arrived in Salt Lake City, and one of the suitcases were missing. So
yeah,
we
like
packed
hand
and waited,
binded
and waited, and paced
and,
for
like,
a good
everything.
Hour. Thank freaking goodness!
Oh,
they found it.
God.
Oh,
You scared me! Oh my god.
and now some well-deserved sleep.
Yeah.
Morning. It is now the day we're gonna meet Brandon, and we've just unpacked the books. They are looking good, luckily. There are some minor
Luckily.
blemishes though.
So we spent a little time touching up some bits here and there, applied some wax to the leather, packed them back in their suitcases, and now, time to go.
Okay, everything is packed.
Finally.
Some final touches on the books.
Yeah, just some last minute panic. It's fine.
And now we're heading down to the lobby to meet the Dragon Steel team for the first time.
Excited and a little nervous.
Yeah, I'm just a little bit scared.
This is so cool.
This is gonna look so funny. We're just coming down with all this.
With four suitcases.
You go ahead, and
Okay.
I'll follow. Oh, by the way, we got Lasse, our editor, on the camera. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's rumble.
Let's rumble.
Even though we have wheels, so freaking heavy, man. Hello. Nice to meet you. Last night, thankfully. Hi, Martina. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Oh, nice.
Everyone lining up to get their badges right now.
Whoa. Nice.
You never know.
One day, I would like to get to Dragon Steel.
Oh. Oh my god. That's gorgeous. The Leatherbound.
Bro, they look so good.
Oh. I want to cry. They're so pretty.
She touched the one that I want.
You understand
I want
what
the
I
one with
mean
the
now?
purple
Like,
star on it. It's
we're
like the one book I
fighting with
really
these.
want.
This is our competition. See, this is why we couldn't just do a normal rebinding. Look.
These are already great.
Look
The
at
only thing
them.
we could work with is size.
So pretty.
I see the star.
Man himself.
The man himself.
500 books in like
Yeah, at this point my dumbass turned off the microphone to save battery, and so you can really see me scramble here to turn it back on as Brandon approaches. Great job, Martina!
We're Nerdforge from...
Yes, I've seen some of your videos.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Amazing.
So I
read some of your books.
Yeah.
the painting in like 3 hours, 3 days.
Oh, yeah.
That was the first one the algorithm recommended to
Oh,
me.
really?
I like stuff
That's
like that.
crazy.
So,
Amazing.
so and I watched that. I saw there. I'm like, oh, they're binding a giant book,
Yeah.
and then it turns out it's
Yes.
Wheel of Time. So yeah.
Ah.
Yes.
That's
I
right,
skip
she
the
did
back
bind
of
the
his
Wheel of
videos
Time.
sometimes.
Yeah.
It's back there. So
We
okay.
have brought something for you.
Okay.
Nice.
A little reveal, but let's do it in the booth, in the nice
Okay.
area.
In the nice booth. Okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna head over.
Yeah. awesome.
Exciting.
Should I be scared?
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Okay.
So we have 4 suitcases.
4 suitcases. Okay.
Of course, both Hans and I are huge Stormlight fans, and we're very excited about the fifth one when the first is coming actually now in a couple of days, so you can get it now.
Tomorrow, I think, when we're recording this.
And so when this video comes out,
that
it's
looks-
already out.
I caught a glimpse that looks really cool. Something in there is extremely cool looking.
So we have seen all the Leatherbound books, and we realized you already have great Leatherbound editions. So we have to do something just like bigger, I guess.
Because when you have something so beautiful, like, you can't compete with that. But in some cases, size does
Oh my goodness.
matter.
What have you gone and done?
We have gone and tried.
Dear.
So we have tried to make what Stormlight Archive should be, the proper size to represent, you know, the world that is.
This is the whole book.
This is the whole book.
This is incredible. I love this. You know, when I was a kid playing D&D, we'd always talk about the giant wizard tome, right?
Yeah.
That you would find. Usually it was like the Necronomicon, so you wanted to burn
Yeah,
it. So
you need to.
You
I
don't
think that'd
want
be
to
so
burn these,
good.
but wow. And new cover art. Did you do that?
Yeah. I thought like it would be cool to do something custom for each cover.
Yeah. That's a really cool idea for Shalon.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
I'm glad you
I
like
love
it.
that.
Yeah, because we were talking back and forth, like, okay, how are we actually going to represent each of these characters? And it was actually Hansi's idea to have this like broken reflection, and then me trying to actually paint it.
Oh, that's cool too.
I love this,
amount-
this
You
painting
matched
Martina
the
made.
color of the order with kind of the fire and things of Dalinar's past. That's really cool.
Planned out.
Oh, that's really cool. So you did leather and then you pressed it in. and things,
Yes.
didn't you? Wow. And bigger and bigger.
That's thanks to you.
I was about to say, that's your
We
fault,
have been
sir.
struggling real hard when binding this to not read the words, because we didn't want to get spoiled while binding this.
Look at that. Look at that.
This is
That cover.
the masterpiece.
Ooh. You know, as I get older and my eyesight fades, then I'll have some large, very large print versions of the books to go reference.
Yeah.
You just need a squire
need
to
a
go
little-
get it for you. And
Yep. Bring it over, turn to page 372, and let me read. Ah, yes, that's right, that's right.
Oh, okay. Well,
That's so cool. Thank you so much.
thank you
Oh,
so
thank
much
you
for
so
having
much.
us.
Really
and
cool.
letting us come here and meet you.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much.
This
Yeah.
has been amazing, and I'm really looking forward to read this now. This is
Yeah.
it's gonna be
Everyone
great.
check out Stormlight Archives to read it.
If you haven't read it, you have
course.
missed something huge.
That's amazing. It really is
Yeah.
just
Now it's back to Norway.
the most awesome copy of the Stormlight Archive books that I have ever received. They are giant. They gave them to me, and we are all going to sign them now. The biggest book I've ever signed.
Thankfully, all the books arrived in good condition, and we all ended up signing them together. And after spending 4 days at
That's
this
so
event,
sweet.
we had a long flight trip back home, and now we are back in the studio.
Finally.
Finally.
What an amazing project.
Oh, it was so much fun to make, and like the event itself was so much fun.
One of my
That
favorite
was so
things was people coming
cool.
up to us asking about the merch, even though they had no idea who we are.
Yeah, I was like, nerd4.store, just so you know. So yeah, if you want to grab one of these, they're only available until January 2nd.
So get it
them
now, or don't get it forever.
Thank you to all the wonderful people who came to meet us, and of course, thank you to our patrons for continuing to support
And
us.
if you want to see an extended version of this video without ads, that's on Patreon.
And finally, of course, thank you so much for watching this entire video. And now
I
it
don't
is
think
finally
I've
time.
read this
Let's have
book
a look
series, so I
at the
need to
final
poke
result.
someone about it and what it's called. Just Lovewind, just ask me later. I'll be able to tell you. Yeah, ask me about Brandon Sanderson. I'll be able to tell you everything. Oh, that's so cool. I agree with him. I really like the Shalon cover she did, but the one that she did for Wind and Truth with Kaladin is so cool. Yeah, they're really good. I really like them. The Stormlight Archives is probably my favorite series of books in general, and I think Brandon Sanderson is my favorite author, truth be told. And then, yeah. Oh, they look so cool all together like that. Okay, you have a good lurk. Thank you for stopping by while you could. But I love Brandon Sanderson's work, and like I said, I just started listening to Wind and Truth today. Like, really, Mr. Husband and I started it last weekend, but I've started to listen to it by myself. And I already cried like twice this morning listening to it, and I'm just like,